Wes, thank you very much for joining the show this morning. I'd love to know what you made of the coronation. Presumably you were glued to the ceremony as the rest of us were, Wes.
Yeah, sorry I'm running a bit late this morning. It's been a bit back-to-back. Wasn't avoiding you, but I was actually there. It was an amazing occasion. I felt very privileged. A small number of MPs from each party were able to be at the coronation itself. And it was just remarkable, to be honest. And at a time when lots of things in our country aren't working, it was great to see on display so many things that make this country great. The music, that even talking about it's given me goosebumps. The huge military processions down the Mall, the fly past, the coming together, the people packing the Mall, and I'm going to be out at street parties in my constituency in the next day or two as well. I hope the weather holds up. I thought it was brilliant, actually. It's wonderful, and the fact that I think 300 million people tuned in worldwide is a reminder of the soft power that the monarchy brings our country, and I genuinely don't think we would have seen something like that with a presidential election, for example.
Wes, doesn't it also show, though, how out of touch some of the Republicans in your party are? They're not very in tune with the public if they want to scrap a monarchy that literally millions of people turned out for in the Mall behind me.
They're also not very great in number, to be honest, and I say that with respect. And look, it's perfectly legitimate for people to say, oh, I'd want a republic, I'd want an elected head of state. It's not a view I agree with. It's not one the Labour Party agrees with. I mean, people should look back at where Attlee was. You know, we're in politics because we want to change people's lives, and I don't think people's lives would change for the better with an elected head of state. I think one of the things that the royal family is able to do is to bridge divides, actually, and we saw that yesterday with people coming together on a cross-party basis. I mean, you know, Penny Mordaunt almost stole the show as the sword bearer yesterday. With that, and, you know, people
Yes.
right across party boundaries were very praising of Penny, actually, and very proud of the way she conducted herself. But more than that, I mean, you know, I mentioned the Abbey. One of the nice things about yesterday was talking to people from all walks of life who were invited because of their community service, because of their public service, what they do for other people. And that was lovely. And, you know, ask anyone who's ever been to a royal visit or to a Buckingham Palace garden party. Those are really special moments that people remember for the rest of their lives. And I think there is that kind of stardust and magic you get around monarchy that you wouldn't get from an elected head of state.
Obviously, there are some who don't like the royal family. Monarchy isn't their cup of tea. What did you make, Wes, of the policing of the protesters yesterday? The CEO of Republic, the anti-monarchy campaign group, Graham Smith, got arrested. Did you think it was a bit overzealous?
Well, I don't know the circumstances of the arrest, and I think it's important. I've seen some of the statements coming out from the Metropolitan Police. I'm glad that they've recognised the importance of transparency and public accountability as the Metropolitan Police tries to rebuild trust after some pretty terrible headlines driven by even more shocking reports of misconduct. I think the police will reflect on yesterday and be open about what went well and what could have gone better, and we'll wait and see that. They recognise the public accountability. I don't doubt that yesterday was an enormous policing challenge, and not least because of the security risk of having so many dignitaries and heads of state and representatives from around the world coming together in one place. It was no mean feat, and so look, I don't think anyone is ever comfortable really with the idea of protesters being arrested unless it's of course justified. So the police will want to do that stuff around accountability. Let's wait and see what they say in terms of any arrest that took place. I actually think it's a great strength of our country that you had on the Mall thousands of people packing the Mall to celebrate the coronation, and literally a stone's throw away in Trafalgar Square you had people voicing their views for Republic and I don't think with any arrests there, and I think that's a great thing about a democracy. We can disagree, and we can disagree well.
Let's talk about democracy and local democracy, Wes. Now, the election results have been good for Labour, there's no denying that, but have they been good enough? You needed a 10% swing to make you the majority party in Parliament come 2024. You actually only got 5%. So what's gone wrong? You haven't done as well as you should have.
Camilla, Keir could literally be in the car to Downing Street as the Prime Minister of a majority Labour government, and people will still be saying, oh, difficult night for the Conservatives, but Labour could have done better. I think we had some remarkable results, the biggest swing since 1997. But
it's not big enough.
We're confident we can win it. We're confident we can win a majority at the next election, but we're not complacent. We know, of course, there's more to do. But if you'd told me in 2019, after the worst election defeat since 1935, that we'd be seeing the kind of breakthroughs that we saw in every part of England, every corner of the country, I'm not sure I would have believed you, actually. And as you know, I'm always an optimist. But it's remarkable progress. But we're not taking people for granted. There is more to do. And for Labour, in terms of our manifesto, the best is yet to come.
Isn't the truth, Wes, that you're going to have to borrow my bright yellow jacket and go into coalition with the Lib Dems to have any hope of Keir Starmer being Prime Minister in 2024?
I know that's what the Conservatives are going around saying, because their position on their results seems to be, oh, we didn't just lose seats to Labour, we lost seats to everyone, as if that was some sort of achievement on their part. I don't think that we're in that territory of looking to or needing a coalition. I do know the Conservatives are in trouble.
Would you go into coalition with the Lib Dems?
They are losing. We're not in that space, and we're not interested in a coalition with the Liberal Democrats. What we are working to is delivering a majority Labour government, and it's not just in England where we're winning back support. In Scotland too, where there weren't local elections on Thursday, but Labour is making serious ground under Anas Sarwar's leadership in Scotland, particularly given the SNP implosion. I think people in Scotland are now not just looking to Labour as a potential government in Westminster to get the Tories out, they're looking to Labour as a serious alternative for government in Scotland too, because they can compare Labour's record in government with the Tories' 13 years in Westminster and the SNP's 16 years in Scotland.
It's a great advert for your party. You're always a champion. I've got to grant it to you. Wes Streeting, thank you very much indeed for joining me this morning.